Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene.
From ancient grudge break to new mutiny.
Where civil blood makes civil hands unclean.
From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life.
Whose misadventured piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife.
The fearful passage of their death-marked love and the continuance of their parents' rage,
which but their children's end naught could remove,
is now the 2 hours traffic of our stage.
The which, if you with patient ears will attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend.
Gregory, on my word, we'll not carry coals.
No, but then we should be colliers.
No, I mean, and we be in color, we'll draw.
Aye, while you live, draw your neck out of collar.
I strike quickly being moved.
But thou art not quickly moved to strike.
A dog of the house of Montague moves me.
To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runst away.
A dog of that house shall move me to stand. I will take the wall of any man or maid of the Montagues.
That shows thee a weak slave, for the weakest goes to the wall.
'Tis true. And therefore women, being the weaker vessels, are forced from the wall. I will push Montague's men from the wall, and thrust his maids to the wall.
The quarrel is between our masters, and us, their men.
'Tis all one. I will show myself a tyrant. Once I have fought with the men, I will be civil with the maids. I will cut off their heads.
The heads of maids?
Aye, the heads of maids, or their maiden heads. Take it in what sense thou wilt.
They must take it in sense that feel it.
Me they shall feel while I am able to stand. And 'tis known, I'm a pretty piece of flesh.
'Tis good thou art not fish. If thou hadst poor John. Quick, draw thy tool. Here comes up the house of Montague.
My naked weapon is out. Quarrel, I will back thee.
How? Turn thy back and run.
Fear me not.
No, Mary, I fear thee.
Let us take the law of our sides. Let them begin.
I will frown as I pass by, and let them take it as they list.
Nay, as they dare. I will bite my thumb at them, which is a disgrace to them if they bear it.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
Is the law on our side if I say I?
No!
No, sir, I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
But if you do, sir, I am for you. I serve as good a man as you.
No better.
Well, sir.
Say better. Here comes one of my master's kinsmen.
Yes, better, sir.
You lie.
Draw if you be men. Gregory, remember thy washing blow.
Fools! Put up your sword, you know not what you do!
What? Art thou drawn amongst these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio, look upon thy death.
I do but keep the peace. Put up your sword or manage to part these men with me.
What? Drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word, as I hate hell. All Montagues and thee. Have at me,
Thou, Capulet, thou art the villain! Hold me back! Let me go!
Enemies to the peace! Profaners of this neighbor-stated steel! Oh, will they not hear? What ho! You men, you beasts, that quench the fire of your pernicious rage with purple fountains issuing from your veins. On pain of torture, from those bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground. and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls, bred of an airy word, by thee, old Capulet and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of these streets, and made Verona's ancient citizens, cast by their grave beseeming ornaments, to wield old partisans in hands as old and cankered with peace, to part your cankered hate. If ever you disturb these streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time I'll rest apart away. Capulet, you come along with me. Montague, come you this afternoon to hear our farther pleasure in this case. To old Freetown, our common judgment place. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart!
Who set this ancient quarrel new abroach? Speak, nephew! Were you by when it began?
Here are the servants of your adversary, and yours close fighting ere I did approach. I drew to part them. In the instant came the fiery Tybalt with a sword prepared, which as he breathed defiance to my ears, he swung about his head and cut the winds, who nothing hurt withal, hissed him to scorn. As we were interchanging thrusts and blows, came more and more, and fought on part and part, until the prince came, and parted either part.
Oh, where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am he was not at this fray.
Madame, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden wind of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad. There underneath the grove of sycamores that westward rooteth on the city side, so early walking did I see your son. Well, towards him I made, but he was ware of me and stole into the covert of the wood. I measuring his affections by my own, which then most sought, where most might not be found, being one too many by my weary self. I pursued my humor, not pursuing his, and gladly shunned he who gladly fled from me.
Many a morning hath he there been seen, with tears augmenting the fresh morning dew, adding to clouds, more clouds with his deep sighs. But also soon as the all-cheering sun should in the farthest east begin to draw the shady curtains from Aurora's bed, away from light steals home my heavy son, and private in his chamber pens himself, locks up his windows, shuts fair daylight out, and makes himself an artificial night. Black and portentous must this humor prove, unless good counsel may the cause remove.
My noble uncle, do you know the cause?
I know it not, nor can learn from him.
Have you importuned him by any means?
Both by myself and many other friends. But he his own affection's counselor is to himself, and we know not how true. Could we but learn from whence his sorrows grow, we would as willingly give cure as no.
See where he comes, so please you, step aside. I'll know his grievance, or be much denied.
Aye, thou wert so happy with thy stay, to hear true shrift. Come, madam, let's away.
Good morrow, cousin.
Is the day so young?
But new struck nigh.
Come me. Sad hours seem long. Was that my father that went hence so fast?
It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not having that which having makes them short.
In love?
Out.
Of love.
Out of her favor where I am in love.
That love. So gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough in proof.
Alas, that love whose view is muffled still should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Oh me, what fray was here? Yet tell me not, for I have heard it all. Here's much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, oh brawling love, oh loving hate, oh anything of nothing first created. Oh heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seeming forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep, that is not what it is, this love feel I that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh?
No cause, I rather weep.
Good heart at what?
At thy good heart's oppression.
Why such is love's transgression. Griefs of mine own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate to have it pressed with more of thine. This love that thou hast shown doth add more grief to too much of mine own. Love is a smoke, raised with the fume of sighs, being purged, a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed, a sea nourished with loving tears. What is it else? Madness, most discreet, a choking gall and a preserving sweet. Farewell, my cuz.
Soft! I will go along. And if you leave me so, you do me wrong.
Tut, I have lost myself. I am not here. This is not Romeo. He's some other where.
Tell me in sadness, who is it that you love?
What? Shall I groan and tell thee?
Groan? Why, no, but sadly tell me who.
A sick man in sadness make his will a word ill urged to one that is so ill. In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I aim so near when I suppose you love.
A right good mark, man, and she's fair, I love.
Well, right fair mark, fair cause as soon as to hit.
Well, in that hit, you miss. She'll not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She hath Dion's wit, and in strong proof of chastity, well armed from love's weak childish bow, she lives uncharmed. She'll not stay the siege of loving terms, nor bide the encounter of assailing eyes, nor ope her lap to saint-seducing gold. Oh, she's rich in beauty, only poor that when she dies, with beauty dies her store.
Then she has sworn she will remain chaste.
She hath, and in despairing, makes huge wastes like this stool. For love, starved with her severity, cuts beauty off from all posterity. She is too wise, too fair, wisely too fair, to merit bliss by making me despair. She hath forsworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead that live to tell it now.
Be ruled by me. Forget to think of her.
Teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes. Examine other beauties.
'Tis the way to call hers exquisite and question more. These happy masks that kiss fair ladies' brows, being black, put us in mind they hide the fair. He that is struck and blind cannot forget the precious treasure of his eyesight lost. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell, thou canst not teach me to forget.
I'll pay that doctor or else die in debt. Romeo!
But Montague is bound as well as I in penalty alike. And it should not be hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace.
Of honorable reckoning are you both. Oh, pity 'tis you've been at odds for so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
But saying o'er what I have said before, my daughter is yet a stranger in the world. She hath not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride ere we might think her ripe to be a bride.
Younger than she, our happy mother's maid?
And too soon marred are those so early made. The earth hath swallowed all my hopes but she's the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part, and she agreed within her scope of choice lies my consent and fair according voice. At my house this night I give an old accomplished feast, to which I have invited many a guest whom I love. And you among the store, one more, most welcome makes my number more. At my poor house this night you shall behold earth-treading stars that make the dark heavens bright. And such comfort as do lusty young men feel when well-apparelled April upon the heel of limping winter treads. Come, go, sirrah, trudge through fair Verona, find out those persons whose name are here writ, and to them say, my house and welcome upon their pleasure stay.
find them out whose names are written here. Oh. It is written that the shoemaker should meddle with his yard, the tailor with his lash, the fisher with his pencils, and the painter with his nets. Oh. But I am sent to find those persons whose names are here writ. And I can never find what names the writing person hath here writ. I must to the learned in good time. Oh.
Tut, man, one fire burns out another's burning. One pain is lessened by another's anguish. Turn giddy and be helped by backwards turning. One desperate grief is cured with another's languish. Take now some new infection to thine eye, and the rank poison of the old will die.
Your plantain leaf is excellent for that.
For what, I pray?
For your broken shit.
Oh, art thou mad?
Not mad, but bound more than a madman is. Shut up in prison, kept without my food, whipped and tormented. Oh, good evening, good fellow.
God, good Ian. Oh. I pray you, sir. Can you read?
Aye, mine own fortune in my misery.
Perhaps you have learned it without book, but I pray, can you read anything you see?
Aye, if I know the letters and the language.
No.
Ye say honestly, rest you merry.
Say, good fellow, I can read. Signor Martino and his wife and daughters, County Anselm and his beauteous sisters, the lady widow of Vitruvio, Signor Placencio and his lovely nieces, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, oh, mine uncle Capulet, his wife and daughters, my fair niece Rosaline and Livia, Signor Valencio and his cousin Tybalt, Lucio and the lively Helena, a fair assembly. Whither should they come?
Up.
Whither?
To supper, to our house.
Whose house? Indeed, I should have asked thee that before.
Now, I'll tell you without asking. My master is the great rich Capulet, and if we not of the house of Montague...
No!
Then I pray, come and crush a cup of wine. Rest you merry.
This same ancient feast of Capulet sups a fair Rosaline whom thou loves with all the admired beauties of Verona. Now go thither with unattainted eye and compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan.
When the devout religion of mine eye maintained such falsehoods, then turned tears to fires, and these who often drowned could never die, transparent heretics, be burnt for liars. One fairer than my love, the all-seeing sun ne'er saw her match since first the world begun.
Ah, tut, you saw her fair, none else being by herself, poised with herself in either eye. But in those crystal scales that there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid that I will show thee shining at the feast, and she shall scant show well, that now shows best.
Oh, I'll go along, no such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendor of mine own.
Nurse! 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 No. Oh. Where's my daughter? Call her forth to me.
Now by my maidenhead at 12-year-old, I bade her come. What lamb, what ladybird? God forbid, where's this girl? What Juliet?
Now, who calls?
Your mother.
Madam, I'm here. What is your will? This is the matter. Nurse, give leave a while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I remembered me. Thou'st hear our counsel. Thou knowest my daughter's of a pretty age.
Faith, I can tell her age into an hour.
She's not 14.
I'll lay 14 of my teeth, and yet to my teen it be spoken, I have but 4. She is not 14. How long is it now till Amistide?
A fortnight, an odd day.
Oh, even a odd of all days in the year. On Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. Susan and she, oh God rest all Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Susan is with God, she was too good for me. But as I said, on Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. That shall she. Oh, 'tis since the earthquake now 11 years, and she was weaned. I never shall forget it. Of all the days of the year, oh, my Lord, and you were then at Mantua. Nay, I do bear a brain. But since that time it has been 11 years, for then she could stand alone. Nay, by the rood, she could have run and waddled all about, for even the day before she broke her brow. And then my husband, God be with his soul, he was a merry man, took up the child. Yea, quoth he, dost thou fall upon thy face, thou wilt fall backward when thou hast more wit. Wilt thou not, Jewel? And by my holy dame, the pretty fool left crying and said, I.
Enough of this! I pray thee, hold thy peace.
Yes, madam. Yet I cannot choose but laugh to think it should leave crying and say I, and yet it had upon its brow a bump as big as a young cockerel stone, a perilous knock, and it cried bitterly. Yea, quoth my husband, dost thou fall upon thy face, thou wilt fall backward when thou comest to age, wilt thou not, Jewel? And it stinted and said, I.
And stint thou too, I pray thee, nurse, say I.
Oh, peace I have done. God mark thee to his grace. Thou wast the prettiest babe that e'er I nursed, and I should live to see thee married once. I have my wish.
Oh, Mary, that Mary is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It is an honor I dream not of.
An honor? Were not I thine only nurse, I would say thou hast sucked wisdom from thy tit.
Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you here in Verona, ladies of esteem are made already mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years that you are now a maid. Thus then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
A man, young lady. Lady, such a man has all the world. Why, he's a man of wax.
Verona summer hath not such a flower.
Nay, he's a flower, in faith a very flower.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman? Oh, this night you shall behold him at our feast. Look o'er the volume of young Paris's face and see delight writ there with beauty's pen. Examine every merry lineament and see how one another lends content. And what obscured in fair volume lies, find written in the margin of his eyes. Oh, this precious book of love, this unbound lover. To beautify him only lacks a cover. The fish lives in the sea, and 'tis much pride for fair without fair within to hide. That book in many's eyes doth share the glory, that in gold clasps locks in the golden story. So shall you share all that he doth possess, by having him making yourself no less.
No less, nay, bigger. Women grow by men.
Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris, love?
I'll look to like, if looking liking move. But no more deep will I dart mine eye than your consent gives strength to make it fly.
The guests are come, supper served up, you called. My young lady asked for the nurse, cursed in the pantry, and everything is in extremity. I must hence to wait. I beseech you, follow straight.
We follow thee, Juliet. The county stays.
Go, girl. Seek happy nights to happy days.
What? Shall this speech be spoke for our excuse, or shall we on without apology?
Ah, the date is out of such prolixity. We'll have no Cupid hoodwinked with a scarf, bearing a Tartar's painted bow of laugh, scaring the ladies like a crow keeper. Nor knoweth thou book prologue faintly spoke after the prompters for our entrance. But let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure, and be gone.
Give me a torch. I am not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light.
Nay, gentle Romeo. We must have you dance.
Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground I cannot move.
You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above a common bound.
I am too sore and pierced with his shaft to soar with his light feathers, and so bound I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe. Under love's heavy burden do I sink.
And to sink in it should you burthen love. Too great oppression for such a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks, like thorn.
If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. Come, a case to put my visage in, a visor for a visor. What care I, what curious eye doth quote deformities? There the beetle brows shall blush for me.
Come, knock and enter, and no sooner in, but every man betake him to his legs.
A torch for me. Let wantons, light of heart, tickle the senseless rushes with their heels, for I am proverbed with a grandsire phrase. I'll be a candle holder and look on. The game was ne'er so fair, and I am done.
Tut, done's the mouse, the constable's own word. If thou art done, we will draw thee from the mire, or save your reverence, love, wherein thou stickest up to the ear. Come, we burn daylight, ho.
Nay, that's not so.
I mean, sir, in delay. We waste our lights like lights by day. Take our good meaning, for our judgment sits 5 times and ne'er once in our fine wits.
And we mean well in going to this mask, but 'tis no wit to go.
Why, may one ask?
I dreamt a dream tonight.
And so did I.
Well, what was yours?
That dreamers often lie.
In bed asleep, while they do dream things often true.
Oh, then I see Queen Mab hath been with you.
Queen Mab? What's she?
She is the fairy's midwife. And she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomi over men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spinner's legs, the cover, the wings of grasshoppers, the traces of the smallest spider's web. Her collars of the moonshine's watery beams. Her whip of cricket bone, the lash of film. Her wagoner is a small gray-coated gnat.
Oh.
Not half so big as a round little worm plucked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut made by the joiner squirrel or old grub. I'm out of mind, the fairy's coachmaker. And in this state, she gallops night by night through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love. On courtiers' knees who straight on curtsies dream, over lawyers' fingers who straight dream on fees, over ladies' lips who straight on kisses dream. Which oft the angry Mab with blisters plagues, because their breaths with sweetmeats tainted are. Sometime she gallops over a courtier's nose, and then dreams he of sniffing out a suit. Sometime comes she with a tithe pig's tail, tickling a parson's nose as he lies asleep, and then dreams he of another benefice. Sometime she driveth over a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, breeches, emboscados, Spanish blades, of hell's 5 fathom deep, and then anon drums in his ears, at which he stalks and wakes, and being thus frighted, swears a prayer or two, and sleeps again. This is that Mab that plaits the manes of horses in the nights, and bakes the elf locks in foul sluttish hairs, which once untangled much misfortune bodes. This is the hag, when maids lie on the back that presses them and learns them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. This is she. This is she. This is she.
Peace, peace, Mercutio, peace, thou talkest of nothing.
True. I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasies, which is as thin of substance as the air and more inconstant than the wind, who woos even now the frozen bosom of the north, and being thus angered, puffs away from thence, turning her face to the dew-dropping south.
This wind we talk of, it blows us from ourselves. Supper is done and we shall come too late.
I fear too early. For my mind misgives some consequence, yet hanging in the stars shall bitterly begin his fearful date with this night's revels, and expire the term of a despised life closed in my breast by some vile forfeit of untimely death. But he that hath the steerage of my course, direct my sail. Onward, lusty gentlemen. Strike drum!
Gentlemen, welcome. And ladies who have their toes unplagued by corns will walk about with you. Ah, my mistresses, which of you now will deny to dance? Welcome, welcome, gentlemen. Play, musicians. A hall, give room. And more light, you knaves. And put the tables up and quench the fire. The room is grown too hot.
What lady's that doth enrich the hand of yonder knight? Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night like a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Beauty too rich for youth, for earth too dear. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows as yonder lady o'er her fellows shows. The measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and touching hers, make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now, forswear its sight? For I ne'er saw true beauty till this night.
This, by his voice, should be a Montague. Fetch me my rapier, boy! What? Dares the slave come hither, covered with an empty face, to fleer and scorn our solemnity? Now by the stock and honor of my kin, to strike him dead, I hold it not sin.
How now, kinsman, wherefore storm you so?
Uncle, 'tis a Montague, our foul, a villain that is hither come in spite to scorn our solemnity this night.
Young Romeo, is it?
'Tis he, that villain Romeo.
Content thee, gentle coz, take no note of him. He bears him as a portly gentleman, and to say true, all Verona brags of him as a virtuous and well-governed youth. I would not, for all the treasure of the town and my house, show him disparagement. Therefore, be patient, take no note of him. It is my will, the which if thou respect, show a beseeming face. Put off these frowns and ill-beseeming semblance for a feast.
Fits when such a villain is a guest. I'll not endure him!
He shall be endured. What, goodman boy? I say he shall go too. You'll not endure him. God will mend my soul. You'll set a mutiny amongst my guests. You'll set cock-a-hoop. You'll be the man.
Why, Uncle? 'Tis a shame!
Go to! Go to. This trick may chance to scathe you, I know what. You must contrary me. Marry, 'tis time. You are a princox. Go! Be quiet, or for shame, I'll make you quiet. What? Cheerly, my hearts!
Patience. Perforce with will for call or meeting makes my flesh tremble in their different greeting. I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall now, seeming sweet, convert to bitter scald.
If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this. My lips to blushing pilgrims ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much. Which mannerly devotion shows in this? For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips and holy palmers too?
Aye, good pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer.
Then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray. Grant thou, lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move. Thou grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not while my prayer's effect I take. Thus, from my lips by thine, my sin is purged.
Then have my lips a sin that they have took.
Sin from my lips? O trespass sweetly urged, give me my sin again.
You kiss by the book.
Madam, your mother craves a word with you.
What's her mother?
Mary Bachelor, her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady and a wise and virtuous. I nursed her daughter that you talked withal. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the chinks.
Is she a Capulet? Oh, dear account, my life is my foe's debt.
Oh, Romeo, away be gone.
Oh.
The sport is at its best.
Why, so I fear the more is my unrest.
Nurse, what is yon gentleman?
The son and heir of old Tiberio.
What is he that is going out of door?
Oh, that is the young Petruchio.
What is he that follows that would not dance?
I know not.
Well, go ask his name. If he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed.
His name is Romeo and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy.
My only love, sprung from my only hate. Too early, seen unknown, and known too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me that I must love a loathed enemy.
What's this? What's this?
A rhyme I learned just now of one I danced withal.
Anon! Anon! Come, let's away. The strangers all are gone.
Can I go forward when my heart is here?
Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? So come on and let me know. Should I stay or should I go?
Turn back, dull earth, and find thy center out.
Romeo! My cousin! Romeo! Romeo!
Oh, he is wise, and all my life had stolen him home to bed.
He ran this way and leapt the orchard wall. Call, good Mercutio!
Nay, and I'll conjure too.
Wait, what?
You must! Madman! Passion? Lover? I conjure thee by Rosaline's bright eyes, by her high forehead and her scarlet lips, by her fine foot, straight leg, and quivering thighs, and the domains knees that there adjacent lie, that in thy likeness thou appear to us.
And if he hear thee, thou shalt anger him.
This cannot anger him. It would anger him to raise a spirit of some strange nature in his mistress's circle and letting it there stand till she had laid it and conjured it down. That were some spite. My invocation is fair and honest. In his mistress's name I conjure only but to raise up him.
Come! He hath hid himself among these trees to be consorted with the humorous knight. Blind is his love, and best befits the dark.
If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Now will he sit under a medlar tree, wishing his mistress were that kind of fruit as maids often call meddlers when they laugh alone. Oh, Romeo, that she were. Oh, that she were an open arse and thou a poppered pear. Romeo, good night. I'll to my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?
Go then, for it is in vain to seek him here that means not to be found. I love you, man.
Yeah, whatever.
He jests at scars that never felt a wound. But soft. What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief. That thou, her maid, art far more fair than she, be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off! Oh. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks. Yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. Her eye in heaven would through the airy regions stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Oh, me.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel. For thou art as glorious to this night, being o'er my head, as is a winged messenger of heaven unto the white, upturned, wandering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him when he bestrides the lazy puffing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Oh, Romeo. Romeo. Wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father, and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more? Shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's a Montague? It is nor hand, nor face, nor foot, nor arm, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose, by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that sweet perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I'll take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou that dost be screened at night, so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name, I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have yet not drunk 100 words of that tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo? And a Montague?
Neither, fair maid, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither, tell me, and wherefore the orchard walls are high, and hard to climb in the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here?
With love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out. And what love can do, that dares love attempt, therefore thy kinsmen are no stop to me.
If they do see thee here, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes. And but thou love me. Let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou out this place?
By love. Who first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I would adventure for such merchandise.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? Ah, I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thee at thy word, yet if thou swearest, thou may prove false. At lovers' perjuries, they say Jove laughs. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkest I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou may think my behavior light, but trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardst ere I was ware my true love passion. Therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night hath so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I vow that tips will silver all the fruit tree tops.
Swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Well, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the God of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love should...
Do not swear.
Oh.
Although I joy in thee, I take no joy in this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which doth cease to be, ere one can say it lightens. Sweet good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove to be a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night. Good night. May sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it. And yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank, and give it thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Juliet!
Anon, good nurse! Dear love, I hear some noise within. Adieu.
Juliet!
Anon! Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, and I will come back again.
Oh, blessed night. I am a feared being, and night, all this is but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send word to me tomorrow by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
Anon, good nurse! But if thou meanest not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come to cease thy suit, and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow I will send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes toward love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love toward school with heavy looks.
Hist! Romeo! Hist! Oh, for a falconer's voice to lure that tassel gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse, and may not speak loud, else would I tear the cave where echo lies, and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine, with repetition of my Romeo's name. Romeo!
It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears.
Hello. Romeo.
Mine eyes.
At what o'clock tomorrow shall I send for thee?
By the hour of 9.
I will not fail. Oh, 'tis 20 years till then. I forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
Oh, I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll still stay to have thee still forget, forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morn. I would have thee gone, and yet no further than a wanton's bird that lets it hop a little from his hand and plucks it back again with a silver thread, so loving jealous of his liberty.
I would I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I, yet I would kill thee with much cherishing. Good night. Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night to thee till it be morrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace, so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly friar's close cell his help to crave and my dear hap to tell.
The gray-eyed morn smiles upon the frowning night, checkering its eastern clouds with streaks of light. Her burying grave, that is her womb, and from her womb many children of divers kind. We, sucking on her natural bosom, find many for many virtues excellent, none but for some, and yet all different. And mickle is the powerful grace that is found in herbs and plants and stones and their true quality. Within the infant rind of this small flower, poison hath residence and medicine power. For this, being smelt, with each part, cheers each part. But being tasted, stays all senses of the heart. So two such opposed kings encamp them still, in herbs as well as man, grace and rude will. And where the worser is predominant, full soon the canker death eats up the plant.
Good morrow, Father.
Benedicite. Tell me what early tongue so sweet saluteth me. It argues a distempered head, so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Care keeps his watch in every old man's eye, and where care lodges, sleep will never lie. But where unbruised youth and uncupped brain doth sit, there golden sleep doth reign. Therefore thy earliness doth me assure that thou art uproused by some distemperature.
That last was true, the sweeter rest was mine.
Oh, God pardon sin! Wast thou with Rosaline?
With Rosaline, ghostly father, no. I have forgot that name, and that name's woe.
That's my good son. But where hast thou been then?
I'll tell thee ere thou ask it me again. I have been feasting with mine enemy, where on a sudden one hath wounded me that find me wounded. Both our remedy within thy help and holy physic lies. I bear no hatred, blessed man, for lo, my intercession likewise steads my foe.
Look, be plain and homely in thy drift, for riddling confession finds but riddling shrift.
Then plainly know my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine on hers, so hers is set on mine, save all combined, what thou must combine by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed and made exchange of vow. I'll tell thee as we pass, but this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today.
Holy St. Francis, what a change is here! Is Rosaline, whom thou did love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love then lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes. Lo, upon the cheek doth sit the stain of an old tear that had not washed off yet. For if ever thou wast thyself and these woes thine, all these woes were all for Rosaline. And art thou changed? Pronounce this sentence then. Women may fall when there is no strength in men.
Thou chidest me off for loving Rosaline.
For doting, not for loving,
and
pupil mine.
baddest me bury love.
Not in a grave to lay one in, another out to have.
I pray thee, chide not. Her I love now, doth grace for grace and love for love allow. The other did not so.
Oh, she knew too well that thy love did read by rote that could not spell. But come, young waverer, come and go with me. In this one respect, I'll thy assistant be. For this alliance may so happy prove to turn your household's rancor to pure love.
Oh, let us hence, I stand on
Wisely and slowly. They stumble that run too fast.
I hate you, man.
Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came you not home tonight?
Not to his father's. I spoke with his man.
That same pale, hard-hearted wench, that Rosaline, torments him so that he will sure run mad.
Tybalt, kinsman to old Capulet, has sent a letter to his father's house.
A challenge on my life.
Romeo will answer it.
Any man that can write may answer a letter.
Nay, he will answer the letter's master how he dares being dared.
Alas, poor Romeo, he is dead already, stabbed with a white wench's black eye, shot through the ear with a love song, the very pin of his heart cleft by the blind bowboy's butt shaft. And is he a man to encounter Tybalt?
Why? What is Tybalt?
Oh, more than the Prince of Cats. Why, he is the most courageous captain of compliments. He fights as you sing prick songs, keeping time, distance, proportion. He rests his minimum rest. 1, 2, and the third in your bosom, a very butcher of a silk button, a duelist, a gentleman of the very first house of the first and second cause, the immortal passado, the punto reverso, the high.
What?
The pox of such antic, lisping, affecting fantasticos, these new tuners of accents. By Jesu, a very good blade, a very tall man, a very good whore. Why, is not this a lamentable thing, grandsire, that we should be thus afflicted with these strange flies, these fashion mongers, these pardon me's, who stand so much on the new form that they cannot sit at ease on an old bench? Oh, their bones, their bones.
Here comes Romeo. Here comes Romeo.
Without his roe like a dried herring, oh flesh, flesh, how art thou fishified? Now is he for the numbers that Petrarch flowed in. Laura to his lady was but a kitchen wench. Mary, she had a better love berhyme her. Dido, a dowdy. Cleopatra, a gypsy. Helen and Hero, harlots and Hildings. Thisbe, a grey eye or so, but not to the purpose. Signor Romeo, bonjour. There's a French salutation for your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The slip, sir, the slip. Can you not conceive?
Pardon, good Mercutio. My business was great, and in such a case as mine, a man may strain courtesy.
That's as much to say. In such a case as yours, a man constrains to bow in the hams.
Meaning to curtsy.
Oh, thou hast most kindly hit
A
it.
most courteous exposition.
Nay, I am the very pink of courtesy.
Pink for flower.
Right.
Why then is my pump well flowered?
Show wit. Follow me this just now till thou hast worn out thy pump, that when the single soul of it is worn, the just may remain after the wearing solely singular.
Oh, single-souled-ness, solely singular for the single ness.
Oh, good Benvolio, come between us, my wits' fangs.
Nah, switch and spurs, or I'll cry a match.
Nay, if our wits run the wild goose chase, I am done for. For thou hast more of the wild goose in one of thy wits than I'm sure that I have in my whole 5. Was I there with you for the goose?
Ah, thou wast never with me for anything when thou wast not there for the goose.
Oh, I will bite thee by the ear for that jest.
Nay, good goose, bite not.
Thy wit is a very bitter sweeting. It is a most sharp
And
sauce.
is it not well served into a sweet goose?
Oh, there's a wit of cheverel that stretches from an inch narrow to an ell broad.
I stretch it out for that word broad, which added to the goose proves thee far and wide a broad goose.
Oh, it is not not this better than groaning for love? Now art thou sociable, now art thou Romeo. Now art thou what thou art in art as well as by nature. For this driveling love is like a great natural that runs lolling up and down the hill to hide his bauble in a hole.
Stop there, stop there.
Thou desirest me to stop in my tail against the hair.
Thou would else have made thy tail long.
Oh, nay, thou art much deceived. I would have made it short, for indeed I had come to the whole depth of my tail and meant to occupy the argument no longer.
Here's goodly gear. Oh, boom, 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 boom.
A sail, a sail!
Oh, two pillar shirts and a smock!
Peter! My fan, Peter.
Good Peter to hide her face, for the fan's the fairer face.
God, ye good morrow, gentlemen.
God, ye good evening, fair gentlewoman.
Is it good evening?
'Tis no less, I tell you, for the body hand of the dial is now upon the prick of noon.
Oh, out upon you! What a man are you?
One gentlewoman that God hath made himself to mar.
By my troth, it is well said, for himself to mar, quoth he. Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo?
I can tell you, but young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name for fault of a worse.
You say well.
Oh, yea, is the worst well? Good in faith, kindly, wisely.
If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you.
She will indict him to some supper.
Abort.
What hast thou found?
No hare, sir, unless a hare, sir, in a Lenten pie. Something or in ere it be sent. An old hare whore is an old hare whore is a very good meat in Lent. But a hare that is whore is too much for score and is ere it be spent. Romeo, will you to your father's tonight? We'll to dinner thither.
I will follow you.
Farewell. Ancient lady. Lady.
I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this that was so full of his ropery?
One nurse that loves to hear himself talk and will speak more in a minute than he will stand to in a month.
And he say anything against me, I'll take him down. And he were lustier than he is, and 20 such jacks. And if I cannot, I'll find those that shall. Scurvy knave! I am none of his splurred gills, I'm none of his skeins mates. And thou must stand by too and suffer every knave to use me at his pleasure.
I saw no man use you at his pleasure. And if I had, my weapon should have been quickly drawn out. I warrant you, I dare draw as soon as another man if I see occasion in a good quarrel. And the law on my side.
Oh! Now, afore God, I am so vexed that every part about me quivers. Scurvy knave. Pray you, sir, a word. And as I told you before, my young lady bid me inquire you out. What she bade me say I will keep to myself. But first let me tell you, if you should lead her into a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behavior. As they say, for the gentlewoman is young, and therefore, if you should deal double with her, truly it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing.
Commend me to thy lady and mistress, I protest unto thee.
Oh, good-hearted in faith, I will tell her as much. Lord, she will be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her? Thou dost not mark me, nurse.
I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which I take it as a gentlemanlike offer.
Bid her devise some means to come to Shrift this afternoon, and there she shall at Briar Lawrence cell be shrived and married. Here is for thy pains.
No, truly, sir, not a penny.
Go to, I say you shall.
This afternoon, sir, she shall be there.
And stay, good nurse. Behind the abbey wall within this hour my man shall be with thee, and bring thee cords made like a tackled stair, which to the high-top gallant joy must be my convoy in the secret night. Farewell, be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell, commend me to thy mistress.
Oh, God in heaven bless thee. Hark you, sir.
What sayst thou, dear nurse?
Is your man secret? Did you ne'er hear say, two may keep counsel, putting one away?
Warrant thee, my man's as true as steel.
Oh, my mistress is the sweetest lady when she was a little prating thing. There is a nobleman in town, one Paris, that would fain lay knife aboard. But she, good soul, has as lief see a toad, a very toad, to see him. I anger her sometimes when I tell her that Paris is the proper man. Thank you. But I warrant when I do so, she looks as pale as any clout in the versal world. Doth not Rosemary and Romeo begin both with a letter?
Aye, nurse, what of that, both with an R?
Oh, mocker, that's a dog's name. R is for the... Oh, no. I know it begins with some other letter, and she hath the prettiest sententious of it, of you and Rosemary, that it would do you good to hear it.
Oh, commend me to thy lady.
Aye, 1,000 times. Peter!
Anon!
Before and apace.
Struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour, she promised to return. Perhaps she cannot meet him. That is not so. Oh, she is lame. Love's heralds should be thoughts which 10 times faster glide than the sun's beams, driving back shadows over lowering hills. Therefore do nimble pinioned doves draw love, and therefore hath the wind swift Cupid wings. Now is the sun upon the highmost hill of this day's journey, and from 9 till 12 is 3 long hours, yet she is not come. Had she affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love, and his to me. But old folks, many fain as they were dead, unwieldy, slow, heavy, and pale as lead. Oh God, she comes. Good, sweet nurse, hast thou met with him? Send thy men away.
Peter, stay at the gate.
No, good, sweet. Oh, Lord, why look so sad? Though news be bad, yet tell it merrily. If good, thou shames the music of sweet news by playing it to me with so sour a face.
Oh, I am weary. Give me leave a while. Fie, how my bones ache. What a jaunt have I.
I would thou had my bones and I thy news. Nay, come, speak. Speak, good nurse, speak.
Yea, so what haste? Can you not stay a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath?
How art thou out of breath when thou hast breath to say to me that thou art out of breath? What says he of our marriage? What of that?
Oh, how my head aches. What a head have I. It beats as it would fall in 20 pieces. Oh, my back. Oh, other side. Oh, beshrew your heart for sending me about to catch my breath with jaunting up and down.
Faith, I am sorry thou art not well, sweet, sweet, sweet nurse. Now, what says my love?
Your love says, like an honest gentleman, and a kind, and a courteous, and a handsome, and I warrant a virtuous. Where is your mother?
Where is my mother? Why, she's within. Where should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says, like an honest gentleman, where is your mother?
Oh, God's lady dear, are you so hot? Marry, come up, I trow. Is this the poultice for my aching bones? Henceforward, do your messages yourself.
You're such a coil. Come. What says Romeo?
Have you got leave to go to Shrift today?
I have.
Then hie you hence to Friar Lawrence's cell. There stays a husband to make you a wife. Now comes the wanted blood up in your cheeks. They'll be in scarlet straight as any news. Hie you to church. I must another way by the which to fetch a ladder, for your love to climb a bird's nest soon when it is dark. I am the drudge and toil in your delight, but you shall bear the burden soon at night. Go, I'll to dinner, hie you to the cell.
Hie to high fortune. Honest good nurse, farewell.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets abroad, and if we meet, we shall not escape a brawl. For now in these hot days is the mad blood stirring.
Thou art like one of those fellows that when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps me his sword on the table and says, God, send me no need of thee. And by the operation of the second cup, draws it on the draw, when indeed there is no need.
Am I like such a fellow?
Come, come, thou art as hot a jack in thy mood as any in Italy, and as soon be moved to be moody, and as soon moody to be moved.
And what two?
Nay, and there were two such, we should have none shortly, for one would kill the other. Thou would quarrel with a man for having a hair more, or a hair less in his beard than thou hast. And thou wilt do to me from quarreling.
And I were so apt to quarrel, as thou art, any man should buy the fee simple of my life for an hour and a quarter.
The fee simple. Oh, simple.
By my head, here come the Capulets.
By my heel, I cannot.
Follow me close, for I will speak to them. Gentlemen, good Ian, a word with one of you.
And but one word with one of us. Couple it with something. Make it a word and a blow.
You shall find me apt enough to that, sir, and you will give me occasion.
Can you not take occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou consortest with Romeo.
Consort? Or dost thou make us minstrels? And if thou makest minstrels of us, look to hear nothing but discords. Here is my fiddlestick, here that shall make you dance soon, consort.
We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either depart into some private place and reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us.
Men's eyes were made to gaze, and let them watch. I will not budge for no man's pleasure, I.
Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man.
But I'll be hanged, sir, if he wear your livery. Marry go before to field, he'll be your follower. Your worship in that sense may call him man.
Romeo! The love I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain!
Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none, therefore farewell. I see thou knowest me not.
Boy! This shall not excuse the injuries thou hast done to me. Therefore turn and draw.
I do protest I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise till thou shalt know the reason of my love. And so, good Capulet, whose name I tender as dearly as my own, be satisfied.
Oh, calm, vile, dishonorable submission. Staccato carries it away. Tybalt, you rat catcher. Will you walk?
What wilt thou have with me?
Good king of cats, nothing. But one of your 9 lives that I intend to make bold withal, and as you shall use me hereafter, dry beat the rest of the 8. Come, sir. Will you pull your sword out of his pilcher by the ear? Make haste, sir, lest mine be about your ears ere it be out.
I am for you.
Quick, Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
A plague on both your houses! I'm spent. Is he gone in without nothing? Art thou hurt? Aye. Scratch. It is enough. Where is my page? Go, fetch a surgeon.
Courage, man. The hurt cannot be much.
No. It is not so deep as a well, wide as a church door. But it'll do. It is enough. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man.
No.
I am peppered, I warrant, for this world. A plague on both your houses! A dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat to scratch a man to death, a braggart, a rogue, a villain that fights by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm.
I thought all for the best.
Help me into some house, Benvolio, or I shall faint. A plague on both your houses. They have made worms meat of me. I have it, and soundly too. Your houses.
This gentleman, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got his mortal hurt in my behalf. My reputation stained with Tybalt's slander! Tybalt, that an hour hath been my kinsman! Sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in my temper softened valor's steel.
Oh, Romeo. Romeo, brave Mercutio is dead. That gallant spirit had aspired the clouds which too untimely here did scorch the earth.
This day's black fate on more days doth depend. This but begins the woe others must end.
Here comes the fiery Tybalt back again.
Alive, in triumph, and Mercutio slain. Oh, away to heaven, respective lenity and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again that late thou gavest me. For Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. Either thou or I or both must go with him.
Thou wretched boy that didst consort him here shall with him hence.
This shall determine that.
Romeo, away, be gone! The citizens are up, Tybalt's slain! Stand not amazed! The prince will doom thee death if thou art taken, hence be gone, away!
Oh, I'm fortune's full!
Why dost thou stay?
He that killed Mercutio! Tybalt, that murderer! Where is he?
There lies that Tybalt.
Up, sir. Go with me. I charge thee in the prince's name. Obey!
Oh, where are the vile beginners of this fray?
Oh, noble prince, I can discover all the unlucky manage of this fatal brawl. There lies the man slain by young Romeo that slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio.
Tybalt? My cousin? Oh, my brother's child. Oh, prince. Oh, cousin. Husband, the blood is spilled of my dear kinsman. Oh, prince, as thou art true for the blood of ours, shed the blood of Montague. Oh.
Benvolio!
Stop!
Who began this bloody fray?
Tybalt, there slain whom Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spake him fair and bade him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urged with all your high displeasure. All this spoke with gentle breath. Calm look, knees humbly bowed, could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt after peace. But that he tilt with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breath, who all his heart turns deadly point to point. And with the martial scorn, with one hand beats cold at the side, and with the other sends it back at Tybalt, whose dexterity retorts it. Romeo cries aloud, "Hold, friends! Friends, pardon!" And swifter than his tongue, his agile arm beats down their fatal points, and twixt them he rushes. Underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt, hit the life of stout Mercutio. And then Tybalt fled. But by and by goes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and to it they go like lightning, for ere I could draw to part them was stout Tybalt slain. And as he fell, did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, or let Benvolio die.
He is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false. He speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife, and all those 20 could but kill one life. I beg for justice, which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live.
Romeo slew him. He slew Mercutio. Who now the price of his dear blood doth owe?
Not Romeo, Prince. He was Mercutio's friend. His fault concludes, but what the law should end, the life of Tybalt.
And for that offense, we immediately do exile him hence.
What?
I have an interest in your hate's proceeding. My blood for your rude brawls doth lie a-bleeding. So I will immerse you with so strong a fine that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses. Nor tears nor prayers will purchase out abuses. Therefore use none. Let Romeo hence in haste, else when he is found, that hour is his last. Bear hence this body and attend our will. Mercy but murders, pardoning those that kill.
Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus' lodging. Such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love, performing night, that runaway eyes may blink and Romeo leap into these arms, untalked of and unseen. Lovers can see to do their amorous rites by their own beauties, or if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, gentle night. Come, loving, black-browed night, give me my Romeo. And when I shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he shall make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of love, but not possessed it. And though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. So tedious is this day as is the night before some festival to an impatient child that hath new robes but may not wear them. Oh, here comes the nurse, and she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence. Now, nurse, what news hast thou met with him? What hast thou there? The ropes that Romeo bid thee fetch.
Oh, the ropes. Are the ropes?
Why dost thou wring thy hands?
Oh, well a day. He's dead, he's dead, he's dead. We are undone, lady. We are undone. He's gone, he's killed, he's dead.
Can heaven be so envious?
Oh, Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, whoever would have thought it, Romeo.
What devil art thou that dost torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell, hath Romeo slain himself. Say thou but I, and that bare vowel I shall poison more than the death-darting eye of cockatrice. I am not I, if there be such an eye, or those eyes shut that make thee answer I. If he be slain, say I, if not, no. Brief sounds determine of my weal or woe.
I saw the wound. I saw it with mine eyes here on his manly breast. Oh, a piteous corse, a bloody piteous corse. Oh, pale, pale as ashes. All bedaubed in blood, all in gore blood. I swooned at the sight.
Or bankrupt break at once to prison eyes, ne'er look on liberty, vile earth to earth resign, and motion here, and thou and Romeo press one heavy bier.
Oh, Tybalt, Tybalt, the best friend I had, courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman, that ever I should live to see thee dead.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Hath Romeo slaughtered himself, and is Tybalt dead? My dear loved cousin and my dear lord. Oh, then, dreadful trumpet, sound the general storm, for who is living if those two are gone?
Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
Oh, God. Did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did, it did. Oh, alas, the day it did.
Serpent heart, hid with a flowering face, did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant, fiend, angelical, dove-feathered raven, wolvish ravening lamb, despise its substance of divinest show, just opposite of what thou justly seemed. A damned saint, an honorable villain. O nature, what hast thou to do in hell when thou didst bower the spirit of a fiend in mortal paradise with such sweet flesh? Was ever book containing such vile matter so sweetly bound? Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace.
There's no faith, no trust, no honesty in men. All forsworn, all perjurers, all not, all dissemblers. Oh, these griefs and woes, sorrows make me old. Shame come to Romeo.
Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame upon his brow. Shame's a shame to sit, for 'tis a throne where honor may be crowned sole monarch of the universal earth. What a beast was I to chide at him.
Would you speak so well of him that killed your cousin?
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Oh, poor my lord, who shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours' wife, had mangled it? But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have slain my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you mistaking offer up to joy. My husband lives, that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort, wherefore weep I then? Some word there was worser than Tybalt's death that did murder me. I would forget it fain, but oh, it presses to my mind like damned guilty deeds on sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo banished. That banished, that one word, banished, is slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death was woe enough if it had ended there, or if sour woe, delights and fellowship, and needly will be ranked with other griefs. Why followed not when she said Tybalt's death, thy father or thy mother, nay, or both, which modern lamentation might have moved? But with a rear word following Tybalt's death, Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, no bound, no death to that word, no woe can that woe sound. Where's my father and mother, nurse?
weeping and wailing over Tybalt's course. Will you go to them? I will bring you thither.
Wash they his wounds with their tears. Mine shall be spent when theirs are dry for Romeo's banishment. Take up the courts. Poor courts, you are beguiled, both you and I, for Romeo's exiled. He made you for a highway to my bed, and I a maid, thy maiden widowed. Come, courts. Come, nurse. I to my wedding bed and death. Not Romeo, take my maidenhead.
Hie to your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is. Hark you, your Romeo will be here at night. I'll to him. He is hid in Lawrence's cell.
Honest good nurse, give this ring to my true love and bid him come and take his last farewell.
Romeo! Romeo! Come forth, thou filthful man! Affliction is an habit of thy parts, and thou art wedded to calamity.
Father, what news? What is the prince's doom? What sorrow craves acquaintance at my hand that I yet know not?
Too familiar is my young son with such sour company. I bring thee tidings of thy prince's doom.
What less than doomsday is the prince's doom?
A gentler judgment vanished from his lips. Not body's death, but body's banishment.
Oh, banishment. Be merciful, say death. For exile hath more terror in his look, much more than death. Do not say banishment.
Hence from Verona thou art banished. But be patient, for the world is broad and wide.
There is no world outside Verona walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence banished is banished from the world, and world's exile is death. Therefore banished is death mistermed. Calling death banishment, thou cutt'st my head off with a golden axe and smilest upon the stroke that murders me.
O deadly sin! O rude unthankfulness! Thy fault our laws call death, and the kind prince, taking thy part, has rushed aside those laws and turned that black word death to banishment. This is dear mercy, and thou seest it not.
'Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing live here in heaven and may look on her, but not Romeo. More validity, more honorable state, more courtship lives in carrion flies than Romeo. They may seize on the white wonder of dear Juliet's hand and steal immortal blessing from her lips, who even in pure and vestal modesty still blushing, as thinking their own kiss is sin, but not Romeo. He is banished. Flies may do this, but I from this must fly. They are free men, but I am banished. And sayest thou yet that exile is not death? Hadst thou no poison mixed, no sharp ground knife, no sudden mean of death, O nest so mean, but banish it to kill me, banish it. O friar the damned, use that word in hell, howling attends it. How hast thou the heart, being a divine, a ghostly confessor, a sin absolver, and my friend, professed to mangle me with that word banished?
Thou fond madman, hear me a little speak.
Thou wilt speak again of banishment.
I will give thee armor to keep off that word. Adversity, sweet milk. Philosophy, to comfort thee, thou art banished.
Yet banished! Hang up philosophy. Unless philosophy can make a Juliet, displant a town, reverse a prince's doom, it helps not, it prevails not. Talk no more.
Oh, I can see that madmen have no ears!
How should they, when that wise men have no eyes?
Oh, well, let me dispute with thee of thy estate.
Thou canst not speak of that thou dost not feel! Wert thou as young as I, Juliet thy love, an hour but married, Tybalt murdered, and doting like me, and like me banished, then mightst thou speak, then mightst thou tear thy hair, and fall upon the ground as I do now, taking the measure of an unmade grave.
Arise! Romeo, one knocks. Get thee away!
Not I, unless the breath of heartsick groans mislike and fold me from the search of eyes.
Oh, hark how they knock! Romeo, get thee. Who's there? Stand up! By and by, stay a while. Get thee to thy study. What simpleness is this? I come. Who knocks so hard? Whence come you? What's your will?
Let me in and you shall know my errand. I come from Lady Juliet.
Oh, welcome then.
Oh, Holy Friar, tell me, Holy Friar, where is my lady's lord? Where's Romeo?
There on the floor with his own tears made drunk.
Oh, he is even in my mistress's case. Just in her case, even so lies she, blubbering and weeping, weeping and blubbering. Oh, stand up! Stand up! Stand, and you be a man for Juliet's sake, for her sake. Rise and stand. Why should you fall into so deep an O?
Nurse.
Oh, sir, death is the end of all.
Speakest thou of Juliet? How is it with her? Doth she not think me an old murderer? Now I have stained the childhood of our joy with blood removed but little from her own. Where is she, and how doth she? And what says my concealed lady to our cancelled love?
Oh, she says nothing, sir, but weeps and weeps. And now falls on her bed, and then starts up, and on Tybalt calls, and on Romeo cries, and then down falls again.
As if that name, shot from the deadly level of a gun, did murder her, as that name's cursed hand murdered her kinsman. Oh, tell me, friar, tell me, in what vile part of this anatomy doth my name lodge? Tell me that I may sack the hated mansion.
Thy desperate hand! Art thou a man? Thy form cries thou art. Thy tears are womanish, and thy wild acts denote the unreasonable fury of a beast. Unseemingly woman in a seeming man, an ill-beseeming beast in both. Thou hast amazed me by my holy order. I thought thy disposition better tempered. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Wilt thou slay thyself, and so slay thy lady that in thy life lives by doing damned hate upon thyself? Why railst thou on thy birth, the heaven, and the earth? Since thy birth, the heaven, and the earth, in thee all three do meet at once, which thou at once would lose. Fie, fie! Thou shamest thy shape, thy love, thy wit. Thy noble form is but of wax, digressing the valor of a man. Thy sworn love is but hollow perjury, killing that love which thou hast vowed to cherish. What roused thee? Thy Juliet is alive. There, art thou happy? Tybalt would kill thee. Thou slewest Tybalt. There, art thou happy? The law that threatened death has become thy friend and turned to exile. There, art thou happy? A pack of blessings light upon thy back. Happiness courts thee in her best array. But like a misbehaved and sullen wench, thy pounced on thy fortune and thy love. Take heed, for such die miserable. Go, get thee to thy love as was decreed. Send her chamber hence, and comfort her. But stay not till the watch be set, for then thou canst pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live until the time that we can blaze thy marriage, reconcile thy friends, beg pardon of the prince, and get thee back here with 120,000 times more joy than whence forth in lamentation. Go before nurse, and commend me to thy lady, and bid her hasten all her house to bed, which heavy sorrow makes them apt unto. Romeo is coming.
Oh, Lord, I could have stayed here all the night to hear good counsel. What learning is. My lord, I'll tell my lady you will come.
Do so, and bid my sweet prepare to chide.
Oh, here, sir, a ring she bid me give you, sir. Hie you make haste, for it grows very late.
How well my comfort is revived by this.
Get thee hence. Here stands the state of your affairs. Either be gone before the watch be set, or by break of day, disguise it from hence. So join in Mantua. I will get thee to thy man to signify from time to time every good chance to you that happens here. Give me thy hand. Farewell. 'Tis late. Bye.
But that a joy past joy calls out on me. It were a grief so brief to part with thee.
Wilt thou be gone so? It is not yet near day. It was the nightingale and not the lark which pierced the fearful hollow of thine ear. Nightly she sings on Yumpum granite tree. Believe me, love, it was the nightingale.
It was the lark, the herald of the morn, no nightingale. Night's candles are burnt out, and jocund day stands tiptoe on the misty mountain tops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die.
Yond light is not daylight, I know it, I. It is some meteor that the sun exhales to be to thee this night a torchbearer and light thee on thy way to Mantua. Therefore stay yet. Thou needst not be gone.
Let me be taken. Let me be put to death. I am content, so thou wilt have it so. I'll say yon gray is not the morning's eye, 'tis but the pale reflex of Cynthia's brow. Nor that is not the lark, whose notes do beat the vaulty heaven so high above our heads. I have more care to stay than will to go. Come, death! Welcome! Juliet wills it so! God. How is it, my soul? Let's talk. It is not morning.
It is. It is. Therefore, high hens, be gone. It is the lark that sings so out of tune, straining harsh discords and unpleasing sounds. Some say the lark makes sweet division. This doth not so, since arm from arm that voice doth us afraid, hunting thee with hunts up to the day. Therefore be gone. More light and light it grows.
More light and light, more dark and dark our woes.
Madam!
Nurse?
Your lady mother is coming to your chamber. Day is broke, be wary, look about.
Then window let life out, and let day in.
Farewell. One kiss, and I'll descend.
Wilt thou be gone so? Love, Lord, I, husband, friend, I must hear from thee every day
in the hour, for in a minute there are many days. By this count I shall be much in years ere I again behold my Romeo.
Farewell. Farewell. I will omit no opportunity to convey my greetings, love, to thee.
Thinkest thou we shall ever meet again?
I doubt it not. And all these discourses and woes shall serve the sweet things in our time to come.
I have an ill divining soul. Methinks I see thee. Now thou art below as one dead in the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyesight fails or thou look'st pale.
And trust me, love, so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu. Adieu.
All men call thee fickle. If thou art fickle, Fortune, what dost thou do with him that is renowned for faith? Be fickle, Fortune, for then I hope thou wilt not keep him long, but send him back.
Ho, daughter, are you up?
Who is that calls? It is my lady mother. Is she not down so late or up so early? What unaccustomed cause procures her hither?
Why, how now, Juliet?
Madam, I am not well.
Evermore weeping for your cousin's death. What wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live, therefore have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much grief shows still some want of wit.
Yet let me weep for such a feeling loss.
So shall you feel the loss, but not the friend which you weep for.
Feeling so the loss, I cannot choose, but ever weep the friend.
Well, girl, thou weepst not so much for his death, as that the villain lives which slaughtered him.
What villain, madam?
Oh, that same villain, Romeo.
Villain and he be many miles asunder. God pardon him. I do with all my heart, and yet no man like he doth grieve my heart.
That is because the traitor murderer lives.
From the reach of these my hands, would none but I might venge my cousin's death.
Oh, we will have vengeance for it. Fear thou not, then weep no more. I'll send to one in Mantua where that same banished renegade doth live. Shall give him such an unaccustomed dram that he shall soon keep Tybalt company. And then I hope thou wilt be satisfied.
Indeed, I shall never be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him. Dead is my poor heart so for a kinsman vexed. Madam, if you could find out but a man to bear a poison, I would temper it, that Romeo would, upon receipt thereof, soon sleep in quiet. Oh, how my heart abhors to hear him named, and cannot come to him. To bore the love I bore my cousin Tybalt upon his body that did slaughter him.
Find thou the means, and I'll find such a man. But now I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl.
And joy comes well in such a needy time. What are they, beseech your ladyship?
Well, well, thou hast a careful father, child, one who, to put thee from thy heaviness, had sorted out a sudden day of joy, that thou expects not, nor I look not for.
Madam, in happy time, what day is that?
Mary, my child, early next Thursday morn, the gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the County Paris at St. Peter's Church, shall happily make thee there a joyful bride.
Now by St. Peter's Church and Peter too, he shall not make me there a happy bride. I wonder at this haste that I should wed ere he that should be husband comes to woo. I pray you tell my lord and father, madam, I will not marry yet, and when I do, I swear it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate, rather than Paris. These are news indeed.
Here comes your father now. Tell him so yourself, and see how he will take it at your hands.
When the sun sets, the air doth drizzle dew. But for the sunset of my brother's son, it rains down right. How now, a conduit girl, still weeping, evermore showering. In one little body thou counterfeits a bark, a sea, a wind. For thine eyes, which I may call the sea, do ebb and flow with tears. The bark thy body is, sailing on this salt flood, and the sighs the winds, which, raging with thy tears and they with them, without a sudden calm will overset thy tempest-tossed body. How now, wife? Have you delivered to her our decree?
Aye, sir, but she will none. She gives you thanks. I would the fool were married to her grave.
Soft. Take me with you, wife, take me with you. How will she none? Is she not proud? Does she not give us thanks? Does she not think herself blessed that unworthy as she is, that we have wrought so worthy a gentleman to be her bridegroom?
Not proud that you have, but thankful that you have. Proud can I never be of what I hate, but thankful even for hate that is meant love.
How now? How now? Chopped logic? What is this? Proud, and I thank you, and I thank you not, and yet not proud? Mistress Minion, you thank me no thankings, no proud me no prouds, but fettle your fine joints to get thee to St. Peter's Church o' Thursday with Paris, or I will drag thee on a hurdle thither. Out, you green sickness, you carrion! Out, you baggage, you tallow face!
Fie, what are you, mad?
Father, I beseech you on my knees, hear me with patience, but to speak a word.
Hang thee, young baggage, disobedient wretch. I tell thee what, get thee to church a Thursday or never after. Look me in the face. Do not speak. Do not reply. Do not say a word. Wife, we scarce thought that God had blessed us when he lent us but this one child. But now I see that this one is one too many, and that we have a curse in having her. Out on her, Hilding!
God in heaven bless her. You are to right, my lord.
And why, my lady Wisdom? Hold thy tongue, good Prudence. Smatter with your gossips. Go.
I speak no treason.
Ah, Goddy good Ian.
May not one speak.
Peace, you mumbling fool. Utter your gravity or a gossip's bowl, for here we need it not.
Oh, you are too hot.
God's bread! It makes me mad. Day, night, early, late, at home, abroad, alone, in company, walking or sleeping, still my care hath been to have her matched. And now, having provided a gentleman of noble education, of fair demeans, youthful, nobly trained, stuffed, as they say, with honorable parts, proportioned as one's thought would wish a man, to have a wretched, puling fool, a whining mammet in her fortunes tender say, I cannot wed, I will not love, I am too young, I pray thee, pardon me. But an you will not wed, I'll pardon thee. Graze where you will. You shall not house with me. Look to it. Think on it. I do not use to jest. Thursday is near. Lay hand on heart. Advise. And you be mine. I'll give you to my friend. And you be not. Hang, beg, starve, die in the streets. For by my soul, I'll ne'er acknowledge thee, and what is mine will ne'er do thee good. Look to it. Bethink you, I'll not be forsworn.
Is there no pity sitting in the clouds that can see into the bottom of my grief? Sweet my mother, cast me not away. Delay this marriage for a month, a week, or if thou wilt not, make my bridal bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies.
Talk not to me, or I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
Oh, nurse. My husband is on earth. My faith in heaven, how can that faith return again to me unless that husband send it to me from heaven by leaving earth? Comfort me. Counsel me, nurse.
Faith, here it is. Romeo is banished, and all the world to nothing that he dare ne'er come back to challenge you. Or even if he did, it needs must be by stealth. Then since the case so stands as it now doth, I think it best you married with the county. Oh, he's a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dishclout to him. An eagle, madam, hath not so green, so quick, so fair an eye as Paris hath. Beshrew my heart, I think you are happy in this second match, for it excels your first. Or if it did not, your first is dead. Or 'twere as good he were as you living here and having no use of him.
Speakest thou this from thy heart?
Aye, and from my soul too. Else beshrew them both.
Amen.
What?
Well, thou hast comforted me marvelous much. Go in and tell my lady mother I am gone, having displeased my father, to Friar Lawrence Self to make confession and to be absolved.
Aye, Mary, I will. And this is wisely done.
Ancient damnation! Almost wicked fiend! Is it more sin to have me thus forsworn, or to speak ill of him with that same tongue which he had praised him with so many thousand times? Go, counselor! Henceforth, thou and my bosom shall be twain. I to the friar to know his remedy. If all else fail, myself have will to die.
Hold, daughter. I do spy a kind of hope, which craves as desperate an execution as that is desperate which we would prevent. If rather than to marry County Paris, thou hast the strength of will to slay thyself, then thou wilt undertake a thing like death, to chide away the shame. That copest with death himself to escape from it. And if thou darest, I'll give thee remedy.
Oh, bid me leap rather than marry Paris from the battlements of yonder tower, and I will do so without fear or doubt to live an unstayed bride to my sweet love.
Hold. Go home. Be merry. Consent to marry County Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow look that thou lie alone. Let not the nurse lie with thee in thy bedchamber. Take thou this vial, and being in thy bed with this distilled liquor, drink thou oft. When presently through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humor, for no pulse shall keep his native progress, but surcease. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest. Thy rosy lips and cheeks shall fade. To paly ashes thy eyes' windows fall, like death when he shuts up the day of life. Each part deprived of supple government shall stiff, stark, and cold appear like death. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death, thou shalt continue 42 hours, and then awake as if from a pleasant sleep. Now, in the morning, when the bridegroom comes to rouse thee from thy bed, there art thou dead. Then, as the manner of our country is, in thy best robes, uncovered on the bier, thou shalt be borne to that same ancient vault where all the kindred of the Capulets lie. In the meantime, shall Romeo by my letters know of our drift, and hither shall he come, and he and I will watch thy waking. And that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua. And this shall free thee from thy present shame, if no inconstant toy nor womanish fear abate the valor in the acting of it.
Give me.
Hold. Be strong and prosperous. In this resolved, I will send a friar with speed to Mantua with my letters to thy lord.
Love, give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear father. I have a feigned cold fear thrills through my veins that almost freezes up the heat of life. What if this mixture do not work at all? Shall I be married then tomorrow morning? What if it be a poison the friar subtly had ministered to have me dead, lest in this marriage he should be dishonored because he married me before to Romeo? I fear it is, and yet methinks it should not, for he had still been tried a holy man. What if, when I am laid into the tomb, I wake before the time that Romeo come to redeem me? There's a fearful point. Shall I not then be distraught, environed with all these hideous fears? Oh, look! Methinks I see my cousin's ghost seeking out Romeo that did spit him upon a rapier's point. Stay, Tybalt, stay! Romeo, 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 here's drink. I drink to thee.
Wake from your sleep, but drying up your tears today. We escape, we escape.
If I may trust the flattering truth of sleep, my dreams presage some joyful news at hand. My bosom's Lord sits lightly above his throne, and all this day an unaccustomed spirit lifts me above the ground with cheerful thoughts. I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think, and breathed such life with sweet kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. Ah me, how sweet is love itself possessed when but love's shadows are so rich in joy. News from Verona! How now, Balthasar? Dost thou not bring me letters from the friar? How doth my lady? Is my father well? How fares my Juliet, that I ask again, for nothing can be ill if she be well?
And she is well, and nothing can be ill. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her immortal part with angels lives. I saw her body laid low in her kindred's vault, and presently took post to tell it you. Pardon me for bringing such ill news, since you did leave it for my office, sir.
Is it e'en so? Then I defy you, stars. Thou knowest my lodging. Get me ink and paper and hire post horses. I will hence tonight.
I do beseech you, sir, have patience. Your looks are pale, and wild that you import some misadventure.
Tush, thou art deceived. Leave me and do the thing I bid thee do. Hast thou no letters to me from the friar?
No, my good lord.
No matter, get thee gone, and hire those horses. I will hence tonight. Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see for means. I do remember an apothecary, and hereabouts he dwells. As I remember, this should be the house. Being a holiday, the beggar's shop is shut. What ho, apothecary!
Who calls so loud?
Come hither, man. I see that thou art poor. Hold. There is 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison. Such soon speeding gears will disperse itself through all the veins, and that the life-weary taker may fall dead, and that the trunk may be discharged of breath as violently as hasty powder fire doth hurry from the fatal cannon's womb.
Such mortal drugs I have, but Mantua's law is death to any he who utters them.
Art thou so barren, full of wretchedness, and fearst to die? Famine is in thy cheeks, need and depression starveth in thine eyes, contempt and beggary hangs upon thy back. The world is not thy friend, nor the world's law. The world affords thee no law to make thee rich. Then be not poor, but break it and take this.
My poverty, but not my will, consents.
I pay thy poverty and not thy will.
Put this in any liquid thing you will and drink it off. If you had the strength of 20 men, they would dispatch you straight.
There is thy gold. Worse poison to men's souls, doing more murder in this loathsome world than these poor compounds that thou mayst not sell. I sell thee poison. Thou hast sold me none. Farewell. Buy food and get thyself in flesh. Come cordial and not poison. Go with me to Juliet's grave, for there must I use thee.
Holy Franciscan Friar, Brother Ho!
Oh, this sound is that of Friar John. Welcome from Mantua. What says Romeo? And if his mind be writ, give me his letter.
Going to find a barefoot brother out, one of our order, to associate me here in this city visiting the sick, and finding him, the searchers of the town, suspecting that we both were in a house where the infectious pestilence did reign, sealed up the doors and refused to let us out. So my speed to Mantua there was stayed.
Who bare my letter then to Romeo?
I could not send it. Here it is again. Nor find a messenger to deliver it thee. So fearful were they of infection.
Oh, unhappy fortune!
Hence and stand aloof. Put it out, for I will not be seen. Under yonder tree, lay thee on a wall, holding thine ear close to the hollow ground. So shall no foot tread upon the courtyard. Unfirm, digging graves, but thou shalt hear it. Whistle then to me, as signal that thou hearest something approach. Give me those flowers. Do as I bid thee, boy. Go.
I am almost afraid to stand here alone in the churchyard. Yet I will adventure.
Flowers thy bridal bed I strew. Canopies tossed in stones. To sweet water lightning I will do. Oh, wanting that, with tears distilled by moans, the obsequies that I will keep for thee will be to strew thy grave and weep. The boy gives warning. Something doth approach. Right. What, with a torch? Muffle me, knight, a while.
Hold. Take this letter. Early in the morning, see thou deliver it to my lord and father. Give me the light. Upon thy life I charge thee. Whate'er thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof and do not interrupt me in my course. Why I descend into this bed of death is partly to behold my lady's face, but chiefly to take thence from her dead finger a precious ring, a ring that I must use in dear employment. Therefore hence, begone. But if thou, jealous, dost return to pry in what I farther shall intend to do, by heaven I will tear thee joint by joint and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs. The time and my intents are savage, wild, more fierce and more inexorable far than empty tigers or the roaring sea.
I will be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
So thou shalt show me friendship. Live and be prosperous, and farewell, good fellow.
For all this same, I'll hide me hereabout, for his looks I fear and his intents I doubt.
Thou detestable maw, thou womb of death, gorged with the dearest morsel of the earth. Thus I enforce thy rotten jaws to open, and in despite I'll cram thee with more food.
This is that banished heart of Montague, that killed my lost cousin, with which grief is opposed. The creature died. Now has come to do some villainous shame to the dead bodies. I will apprehend him. Stop thy hot toil, vile Montague! Can vengeance be
Indeed, I must, and therefore came I hither. Good gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. Fly hence and leave me. Think upon these gone, let them affright thee. I beseech thee, youth. Put not another sin upon my head by urging me to fury. Oh, be gone. By heaven, I love thee better than myself, for I came hither armed against myself. Stay not, be gone, live, and hereafter say, a madman's mercy bid thee run away.
I do defy thy combination, and apprehend thee for a felon here.
Oh, wilt thou provoke me? Then have it thee, boy.
Oh, Lord, they fight! I will go call the watch.
Merciful, open the tomb. Lay me with Juliet.
In faith I will. Let me peruse this face. Mercutio's kinsman, noble County Paris. What said my man when my betossed soul did not attend him as we rode? I think he told me Paris should have married Juliet. Said he not so, or did I dream it so? Or am I mad hearing him talk of it? I think it was so. No, give me thy hand. One writ with me in sour misfortune's book. I'll bury thee in a triumphant grave. A grave? Oh no. A lantern, slaughtered youth. For thou art as glorious, Juliet, to this vault, and thou makes it a feasting presence full of light. Death, lie thou there, by a dead man interred. How oft, when men are at the point of death, have they been merry, which their keepers call a lightning before death. Oh, how may I call this a lightning? Oh, my love, my wife, death that hath sucked the honey of thy lips, hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. Tybalt, lies thou there in thy bloody sheet? Oh, what more favor can I do to thee than with that hand that cut thy youth in twain to sunder his that was thine enemy? Forgive me, cousin. Ah, dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, and that the lean, abhorred monster keeps thee here in dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this palace of dim night depart again. Oh, here will I remain with the worms that are thy chambermaids. Oh, here will I set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-wearied flesh. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace. And lips, go you, the doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss, a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Come, bitter conduct. Come, unsavory guide. Thou desperate pilot, now at once run on the dashing rocks thy seasick weary bark. Here's to my love. True apothecary, thy drugs are quick. Thus, with a kiss, I die.
What's this? A cup close to my true love's hand. Poison I see hath been his timeless end. Oh, churl! Drank all and left no friendly drop to help me after. I will kiss thy lips. Haply some poison yet doth hang on them to help me die with a restorative. Thy lips are warm. Yea, noise. And now be brief. Oh, happy dagger, this is thy sheath. There rust, and let me die.
St. Francis, be my speed! How oft tonight have my old feet stumbled at graves! Who's there?
Here's one a friend and one that knows you well.
Oh, blessed be upon thee. Tell me, my good man, what torch is yon that vainly lends its light to grubs and eyeless skulls? As I discern, it burneth in the Capel's monument.
It doth so, holy sir. And there's my master, one that you love.
Who is he?
Romeo.
How long has he been there?
Full half an hour.
Come with me to the vault!
I dare not, sir, for my master knows not that I'm gone hence, and fearfully did menace me with death if I did stay to look on his intents.
Stay then! I will go alone. Fear overcomes me. Oh, I fear some ill, unthrifty thing.
As I did lay asleep under this yew tree here, I dreamt that my master and another fought, and that my master slew him.
Alack, alack, Romeo. What blood doth stain the stony entrance of the sepulchre. I dare no longer stay where the torch doth burn.
The ground is bloody. Search about the churchyard. Go, some of you. Whoever you find, attach. A pitiful sight. Here lies the county slain and Juliet bleeding, warm and newly killed, who here hath lain these 2 days buried. Go to the prince. Run to the Capulets, raise up the Montagues, some other search. We see where on the ground these woes do lie, but the true ground of all these piteous woes we cannot without circumstance descry.
Here's Romeo's man. We found him in the churchyard.
Hold him safely till the prince come hither. Here is a friar that trembles, sighs, and weeps. We took this mattock and this spade from him as he was coming from this churchyard side. A great suspicion. Stay the friar too.
So early up that it calls our person from our morning rest.
What is this thing that is so shrieked abroad?
Oh, the people in the street cry Romeo, some Juliet, and some Paris, and all run with open outcry to our monument.
What fear is this which startles in our ears?
Sovereign, here lies the county Paris slain, Romeo dead, and Juliet dead before, warm and new killed.
Search. Seek and know how this foul murder comes.
We have here a friar and slaughtered Romeo's man, with instruments upon them fit to open these dead men's tombs.
Oh, heavens! Oh, wife! See how our daughter bleeds! And this dagger I happen to stay in. Its house is empty on the back of Montague. And it is misshapen in my daughter's bosom.
Oh, me. The sight of death is as a bell that warns my old age to a sepulchre.
Come, Montague. For thou art early up to see thy son and heir now early down.
Alas, my liege, my wife is dead tonight. Grief of my son's exile has stopped her breath. What further woe conspires against mine age?
Look and thou shalt see.
O thou untaught, what manners is this? To press before a father to thy grave.
Seal up the mouth of outrage for a while till we can clear these ambiguities and know their spring, their head, their true descent. Then I will be general to your woes and lead you even to death. Meantime, forbear, and let mischance be slave to patience. Bring forth the parties of suspicion.
I am the greatest, able to do the least, and yet most suspected, as the time and place doth make against me of this direful murder. And here I stand, both to impeach and to purge myself, condemn it and myself excuse it.
Then say at once what thou dost know in this.
Romeo, their dead, was husband to that Juliet, and Juliet, their dead, was Romeo's faithful wife. I married them, and on their stolen marriage day, 'twas Tybalt's doomsday, whose untimely death banished the new bridegroom from the city, for whom Juliet pined and not for Tybalt. You, to remove that siege of grief from her, betrothed and would perforce her to marry County Paris. And she did come to me with wild looks and bid her to devise some means to rid her of this second marriage, or there in my cell she would kill herself. And as tutored by my art, then gave I her a sleeping potion that wrought on it a form of death. In the meantime, I writ to Romeo that he should come hither and take her from this borrowed grave. But he who bore my letter, Friar John, was stayed by accident yesternight and returned my letter. Then came I alone at the prefixed hour of her waking. But when I came, untimely late, the noble Paris and true Romeo dead, she, as it seems, did violence upon herself. All this I know, and to the marriage the nurse is privy. But if any of this ought be my fault, that sacrificed my old life under the rigor of severest law.
We still have known thee as a holy man. Where is Romeo's man? What can he say in this?
Juliet's death, and then in post he came from Mantua to this same place, this same monument. This letter he early bid me give his father, then threatening me with death, going into the vault, if I departed not and left him there.
Give me the letter, I will look on it. Where is the county's page that summoned the watch? Sirrah, what made your master in this place?
He came with flowers to strew his lady's grave, then bid me stand aloof, and so I did. Anon came one with light to ope the tomb, then by and by my master drew on him, and then I ran away to call the watch.
This letter doth make good the friar's words. The course of their love, the tidings of her death. And here he writes that he did buy a poison of a poor apothecary, and therewithal came to this vault to die and lie with Juliet. Where be these enemies? Capulet and Montague. See what a scourge is laid upon your hate, that the heavens find means to kill your joys with love. And I, for waiting at your discords too, have lost a brace of kinsmen. All are punished!
Brother Montague, take my hand. This is my daughter's jointure, for no more can I demand.
But I can give thee more, for I shall raise a statue in pure gold, that while Ronas by that name is known, there shall no figure at such rate be set than that of true and faithful Juliet.
As fair as Romeo shall by his ladies lie. Poor sacrifices to our enmity.
A glooming peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence and talk more of these sad things. Some will be pardoned and some punished. For never was there a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.